Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine.
Wouldn't this world be a better place if every single man, woman, and child said, "Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine"?
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, Sweet Hope, Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with Sonny Hirsch, our cameraman, and the greatest host around, Sonny Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. At ntnm.org, you can check us out on YouTube, where over 190,000 shows have been watched. Thank you very much. We're very big on community policing. Sonny Hirsch, in his spare time, is the chairman of the District Advisory Committee of the 24th District. I'm all tongue-tied today. And you go to caps24.org, you can get all the different meeting times which you're going to need, because starting this month in May, all the CAPS meetings in the 24th District and throughout much of the city are changing. From now on, the 10 sector will be meeting the second Thursdays at either 5, 6, or 7. Not everything's been determined yet. Also, the 20 sectors and the 30 sectors will be meeting the third and or fourth Thursdays, so things are being more consolidated. It's going to help the police department, who are very short-handed, deal with things. It will cause some problems, but maybe it'll bring out some new people, we're kind of hoping. In any event, somebody who has been on the show before, somebody who's speaking of community policing and court advocacy, is one of the much more interesting people, and somebody who really goes out all over the place and talks about it, is presently a sitting judge, and it's Jamie Shapiro, or James Shapiro. How you doing?
Good to see you, Avi. Good, thanks.
My pleasure, and a pleasure to have you on air.
Pleasure's mine.
So I know, as a matter of fact, at the last District Advisory Committee meeting of the 24th District, Rick Jones, who is a big court watch guy, specifically brought you up, and he had your card there, and he was talking about how you were talking to them and advocating and all the rest of it, and he really enjoyed it. And here's a guy who's like very serious court watch guy. Very
serious. I was very impressed by him and what he does, and I've imported his ideas to some other beat meetings too. So
very good. Yeah, he's definitely an original thinker and very creative and a very hard worker at what he does. And so, talk to us about. Well, let's talk about. We've had you on before, but this is a whole different year. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was a federal prosecutor for about 6.5 years, and I was in private practice for about 10 or 11 years after that, before getting appointed to the bench. And I was with a couple of big firms before that, before I was an assistant U.S. attorney. And during all this, I was trained as a court advocate in the 90s over at Belmont and Western. And eventually, not only was I a court advocate, but I was a crime victim. My daughter and I were crime victims of an assault by a tow truck driver. And the court advocates came out in force to support me and my little girl. And that's when it really hit me, how important the court advocates program was, because I don't know if this tow truck driver would have been convicted or gotten a conviction if the court advocates hadn't come to court to support me. And I came out to support them, to support the court advocates program, and they came out to support me. So I've had experience with court advocates, both as a prosecutor, as a defense lawyer, as a court advocate, and as a crime victim being supported by the court advocates, and now as a judge. So I'm a big advocate of the court advocates program.
And you're actually going to different CAPS meetings now, it sounds like.
I have been. I've been going to as many CAPS meetings as I can to advocate for the court advocates program, to promote the court advocates program, because I don't see as many court advocates in court. Of course, I'm currently assigned to the western suburbs, but when I was sitting at Belmont and Western and Grand and Central, I didn't see as many court advocates as I had when I was a court advocate in the 90s, and trying to help breathe new life into the program. So,
I think that's terrific, and I think that's something that I think we really want to focus on ourselves in between elections here. And I think I'm going to do more to get talk about court advocates, and we'll try to get you on again. But let's take advantage right now. So a person wants to do. What are the advantages of court advocacy?
Well, the advantages of court advocacy are that the community has a chance to show its support for the crime victims, for the police, for itself, really, for the community itself, and it really makes a difference. And as far as the effect on the judge goes, judges can't help but take notice when there's community interest in a case. I'm not saying that judges would do anything different. We're bound to follow the law, and we do follow the law, but I think it's appropriate for judges to take notice, as long as they don't do anything different, of community involvement, and maybe they give the case a little bit extra special attention. And I usually made a habit of giving the court advocates an opportunity to say something before I impose sentence, if there were any court advocates in court, as well as the crime victim, as well as the defendant, right before his what's called his right of allocution, before I pronounce sentence. So I like to give the community a voice before I impose sentence, if for no other reason than to vent the interests of the community. And I've done that in graffiti cases, tagging cases, and the like. So,
what kind of cases are you handling now?
Well, mostly criminal cases. As I may have said, I'm currently assigned to the 4th Municipal District in the western suburbs in Maywood, but I do about 90% criminal. Of course, as I say that today, I handle the civil call, so I'm called upon to sub in civil court once or twice a month, but I do about 90% criminal, mostly misdemeanors and traffic, and sometimes felonies. And unfortunately, the reason I say that is because we don't have a court advocates program or even a CAPS program in Maywood. Unfortunately, we don't.
Wow.
We've had AIM members, the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, in court, but that's the closest thing we have to community involvement that I've seen in Maywood. So since it's not in Chicago, we haven't seen too many court advocates out there. There's no CAPS program out in the western suburbs, to my knowledge.
I know the only time I've been out to Maywood is when I used to go to Maywood Park in the 90s, but...
Unfortunately, I think that may be closed down.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's not looking good for the horse racing industry.
Not looking good.
And I happen to I'm one of the last harness racing fans left. I've always felt that those harness horses are the finest, most polite athletes in any sport going.
As long as they don't break stride, right?
I'm actually talking about the lack of foul language and their manners and all the rest of it. But yeah, if they break stride, that's a whole bad thing. That's for sure. So I hear there's actually a rumor you might be thinking about running for office.
I'm thinking about it. I am. The deadline just passed, or if I could call it a deadline, you're allowed to start campaigning and raising money a year before the election, and on March 20th, about a month ago, that deadline passed. So I am gearing up for another run.
Now that is that's the 10th sub-circuit?
It's the 8th sub-circuit.
8th, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And I understand there are 3 vacancies there.
4, actually.
4?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's never been 4 in any sub-circuit in any year, so this is a record.
Wow.
So we expect a record number of candidates to
I'll
file.
be getting a lot of action for Jewish Chicago. We got 3 in the 9th. We've got 4 in the 8th. Sounds good.
It's good for you.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, believe me. But no, it's so basically. I mean, this isn't like running for governor or state rep. I mean, this has to be a very dignified business.
Well, we try to make it dignified. I believe in that. I think most candidates believe in that. Sometimes it gets a little bit rough, but that's the rare exception rather than the rule. But judges are bound by a different set of rules. There's not supposed to be any negative campaigning like there are in state rep races and races for higher office. So
Yeah, by the way, that's
believe
all there are in those campaigns, and I just finished a box of 600 Q-tips over the last election.
It's not completely unprecedented, and it even happened in my sub-circuit a few years ago, but I believe in clean campaigning, and that anyone who wants to run has a right to run, and I don't believe in negative campaigning.
And I remember your campaign, and it was a very clean campaign, and I want to say hi to Aviva Pant, as a matter of fact.
I'd like to say hi to Aviva, too. Hi, Aviva.
Okay, and we want to wish you a lot of luck. If people would like to, let's say, invite you to go to their CAPS meeting and talk about court advocacy or get to know you better, how would they contact you?
Well, they could. The best way to contact me is by emailing me at judgeshapiro@gmail.com or judgeshapiro@earthlink.net. I have two Judge Shapiro email addresses.
I like
That's
the Gmail one better. I tend to get through easier.
That's right. Remember that. And it is shorter, too. It's easier to type. So judgeshapiro@gmail.com. Please feel free to email me, and I'd be glad to appear at any CAPS meeting and talk about the Court Advocates Program and promote it. I'd be honored to do that. And by the way, for people who don't know, Aviva was my campaign manager and is still my campaign manager. I don't know if we alluded to that. So
no, I didn't, as a matter of fact. So I want to wish you a lot of luck, and we'll be talking to you again. We'll check in on air with you well before the election.
Thanks,
so
Avi.
Judge Shapiro, I want to wish you a lot of luck, and thank
you
so much for being here.
Thank you, Avi.